NFL Power Rankings Week 12. I'm going to start off. These are the top 10 teams in the NFL, just to be clear. My number 10 team is the Los Angeles Rams. They're facing the Bucs right now. They're putting on a pretty good performance. I don't know if they're going to win or not, but I got them being my number 10 team. I think it's fair. I think they're better than the Dolphins, even though they lost. They lost to the Dolphins, right? They're better than the Cardinals to me, the Ravens, the Raiders, the Browns. So I got the Rams at 10.
This is a tough one for me. I didn't want to drop them as much as I ended up doing, but it just was the way it panned out. I think they could definitely be higher than this, and I think that there are other teams that could be in the 10 spot too, but I went Cardinals at 10. I docked them more than I think they should have been for that loss, but I still think that they're a very good team, and I think they'll be in the conversation late in the season. And I think they'll move up from here, but just this week, they just happen to be a 10.
Like Jack said, I had to dock them. They played a tough game, played a hard game, but I had to dock them for that loss to the Seahawks. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Cardinals at 10 for me.
So my number 9 team is the Green Bay Packers. After losing to the Colts, I can't put them above the Colts. And they've shown some real-life vulnerabilities in their team, especially on defense, and their offense can get stagnant at times. I got the Packers at 9.
I went with the Titans at 9.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
still in your top 10?
I thought that they had a good win this weekend against the Ravens, so I wanted to show them some love, get them in the top 10. But I wasn't, like I said before, I wasn't as impressed by them as much as I was disappointed in the Ravens. So, yeah, they're sitting at 9. The bottom was tough for me because there was teams on the outside that I thought could have been in, but I went Titans at 9.
Number 9 for me, it's basically everything Joel said. I mean, I got the Green Bay Packers. I had to put them at 9. I don't they show vulnerability a lot against good teams, but they're still a top 10 team nonetheless, so I got them at 9.
My number 8 team in the NFL is the Buffalo Bills because they didn't play this week, so I can't move them up, but I can move them down based off other team performances. So they're number 8, not because of I think they're a bad team or they're worse than the other teams. I just think going into Week 12, since they didn't play in Week 11, this is where they are. They're number 8.
At number 8, and I wish that we could have been doing this segment about an hour from now, I had the Rams at 8, just because I don't know what their offensive line is going to look like without Whitworth, and then in turn, what is Jared Goff going to look like? He looks impressive so far, so maybe I could have taken another look at this, but I have them at 8 based on what we saw before recording.
Boom. My number 8 team, I got the Los Angeles Rams. It was basically everything you said. I don't know how they're going to look with Whitworth, but I feel like I'm still confident in this team, and by the looks of how this game is performing, I think they're a really great team, and I think they could definitely perform. And I changed my pick a couple weeks ago, and I feel like they were going to come out and win the division, so I got them at 8.
My number 7 team the 7th team is the Tennessee Titans. I think they're here because, they beat the Ravens, and unlike you, I think that was an impressive win. They had a little altercation in midfield. They kind of had to prove themselves. Everybody still kind of has that thought in their head that they beat the Ravens because it was a fluke. The Ravens were supposed to win, and now in the regular season, they beat them again, and they're like, nah, that wasn't a fluke. We're really better than them, and that's why we beat them. I got the Ravens at 7.
You guys might call me crazy for this. I went with the Packers at 7. I think they showed a lot of vulnerability, but I also thought that they played well enough to win against a good team in the Colts. That's why I didn't kill them for that loss. So I went Packers at 7.
My 7 is the same as it was last week. Bills.
Got to talking to the mic, bro.
Anyways, my 7 is the same as it was last week, the Buffalo Bills. I couldn't, like Joel said, they didn't play, so I couldn't really dock them up, but I wasn't going to dock them down either, so I got them at 7.
Okay, my 6th team is the Indianapolis Colts. They beat the Packers. They beat the Titans. But 6 is as far as I can have them right now because the top 5 the teams that I have in my top 5, they're not better than. The Colts, I think they're on a roll. They probably will lose to the Titans this upcoming Sunday, but they will end up winning the division. And I have them at 5. Impressive win against the Packers, like I said. And Phillip Rivers is having a bounce-back season from last year.
I also went Colts at 6. I also thought they could have been a 5, but I'll explain my reasoning at 5. But a great win against the Packers boosted them from outside of the top 10 up to number 6 for me. I was really impressed with them this week.
My 6 and 5 are interchangeable, but I'm going to put 6. I'm going to put Seattle. I like that win against the Cardinals to bounce back. I feel like they're now starting to get it going, so I'll put them at 6 for me.
So my 5th team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Scrubs.
I didn't see them play yet. Obviously, after, I might have put them higher if we watched the Monday Night Football game after. We made this segment after. But I have them at 5 right now. That Saints loss hurt them in these rankings. Not where I have them at the end of the season, but in these rankings, that loss to the Saints hurt them a lot. I have them as the 5th best team in the NFL.
I went with the Bills at 5. And my opinion differed from yours where you said, you couldn't raise that. I also, I felt weird raising them off of it, but teams ahead of them fell, and they didn't hurt themselves at all. And personally, I just have them above the Colts, in my opinion, as a team right now, just because I think their offense is better. So I went Bills at 5. Weird, not very often that you'll see a team jump in a bye week, but
I put the Bills. I put the Colts at 5. I feel like that win last week and the wins they've had over the couple weeks have been really impressive, and they finally jumped into my top 5, especially last week with that win against the Packers.
So the 4th best team in the NFL to me is the Seattle Seahawks. They came into that game with a lot of question marks after losing to the Bills, and I think they proved themselves by beating the Cardinals and getting that revenge on them again. Their defense has been playing better, and I think with Snacks added into the mix, Carlos Dunlap, people like to blame the defensive line for the Seahawks, but that's not the reason their defense is bad. Their defense is bad because of miscommunication, not because of their talent. If they can communicate better, they can move higher on this list, but for now I have them at 4.
I went with the Buccaneers at 4. They might have been higher or lower based on what is happening right now, but coming into this week, I got them at 4. I think that they're one of the best two-way teams in the league, so that's why I have them. I think that my top 4 are the 4 upper echelon teams in the league.
Yeah, I agree with Jack. Bucks at 4. They don't move they don't go down, they don't go up. They're still one of the best 4 teams in the league, and I feel like they're going to stay here until about week 17. So I got them at 4.
My 3rd best team is the New Orleans Saints. I mean, look, their win against the Falcons was good. Taysom Hill was impressive, but it's the Falcons. Who really cares? I can't move them up on the list because they beat the Falcons. But they are a top 3 team in the NFL, and I don't have them. I can't put them ahead of the other 2 top teams I have.
Yeah, exactly. I also have the Saints at 3. I think their defense impressed me more than anything. The fact that they could win without Drew Brees was very impressive, and it showed their offense is strong no matter what. So, I went with them at 3 just because I don't think that you could put them over the top 2 teams right now.
Same thing with you guys. I got Saints at 3. I think the only way to jump into my top 2 is a possible loss out of the 2 top teams, and the Saints get a big win against a good team. So, yeah, I got the Saints at 3.
My 2nd best team is the Steelers. They're undefeated at 10-0. And honestly, I should put them at 1, but I just can't over the Chiefs. That's spoiler alert. Number 1 is the Chiefs. But the Steelers are so good. Chase Claypool is really growing into a number 1 wide receiver. And wow, the Steelers just have an elite defense. Their offense is coming into its own. I have to put them as the 2nd best team in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I have the Steelers at 2. Me and Ruth have been saying it for weeks. As good as the Steelers have been, they just can't unthrone or dethrone the Chiefs. The Chiefs have just been too dominant. Not to give away my number 1, but the Chiefs are going to be number 1. The Steelers, granted they're 10-0, they have a great defense. They're just one baby step behind the Chiefs for me right now.
I got the Chiefs at 2.
Really?
Yeah, it's I feel like the 2 for the season they're interchangeable. Steelers are undefeated. The Chiefs are dominant. I feel like you can go either or. I just have the Chiefs at 2 because that one blimp on their record, and that reveals my number 1. I got the Steelers at 1 because they're undefeated. They're well-rounded. And although the schedule hasn't been as impressive, a lot of teams still fumbled the bag against bad teams, and the Steelers have shown that they take every game like it's serious and like it's their last game. So I have the Steelers at 1, Chiefs at 2.
Exactly. My number 1 team is the Kansas City Chiefs, especially after they had a comeback against the Raiders, which was a phenomenal comeback. I think I have to put them at the number 1 spot until somebody or a team can prove to me that they deserve to be off it. I'm going to keep them on. They're the reigning Super Bowl champions. They're still elite. Steelers have to prove that they deserve it more than that.
Exactly.
Until that, I have the Chiefs at 1.
Ditto. I got the Chiefs at 1. I've been saying it, for weeks now. So I'm going to stick with the Chiefs at 1 until they prove me otherwise.
And that does it for our Week 12 power rankings. So we guys want to hear who your top 5 teams are in the comments, or top 10. You could put whichever. Top 5 is easier, though, in the comments or the chat below. Hey, what's up, guys? You just finished watching a clip of the Pick Aside podcast. My name is Joel Moran.
My name is Jack Barteck.
My name is River Brown.
And we are your hosts for this podcast. We want to thank you guys for watching the clip. Like, subscribe, and comment, and share if you would care to, because it helps us grow. We're trying to make this a full-time thing. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting, and see you next time.